All right, it is the offseason, is that time of year where the coaching carousel has ramped up, and the Browns have put themselves in a position when I think a lot of people didn't think that they would be necessarily in a position to be getting coaches. I think after such a successful season, a lot of people didn't think it, but they let go of multiple people on the offensive side of the ball, and so they're moving into different places. I've said it here that I think Deshaun Watson needs a very specific type of quarterbacks coach, but they may have hit the nail on the head. They're going to interview a hot candidate for the offensive coordinator role, and we'll go to Dogs by Nature to give you a little visual something here. They plan to speak with Texans quarterback coach Jared Johnson for open OC position. Okay, now, do you think this guy has done a good job with CJ Stroud? I do. Is it a little weird to be bringing someone in that, is at Texas and that's where Deshaun was from and all that kind of stuff? Yeah, I get that. I get that. But at the same time, I'm going to tell you not only why he's a good fit, but then I'm going to tell you why you need to move fast on this. But if you're not familiar with this channel, we are Lions fans. I had to wear the Lions stuff after winning and getting into the NFC Championship. I know you're happy for me. We're Erie brothers, right? But we started this channel to talk about teams that the national media ignores. We feel a kinship with Browns fans, so we talk about that team a lot. We actually talk about the Texans a lot too, so this is an easy one for me to do. But I want you to see this. CJ Stroud said this about Jared Johnson. He said, I've known Jared since I was 16. All right. Now, that's probably like 7 years. All right. Stroud's not that old. He goes, one thing I could say about Jared, talk about someone who knows how to play a position. All right. He means quarterback. Relay something. He's a great person, loves football, loves Texas. That's okay. All right. A great family man. Taught me a tremendous amount of information. All right, so you're getting a good guy. You're getting someone who is able to relate well, it seems like, to quarterbacks. Now, players, how do I want to put this? They don't need to talk about how much they love their coach. So when they go out and they give compliments, and it's a longer compliment like that one was from CJ Stroud, it's usually because they mean it. If they kind of like their coach or they don't like their coach, they're like, hey, how has it been working with Jared Johnson? You know what? He's great. He knows football. Appreciate him. Done. End of quote. But he went on to say a lot more than that, didn't he? He went on to talk about, he talks about him and knowing how to play the position well. He talks about how he's a good communicator when he talks about relaying information. Then he goes on to talk about him on his personal life, that he's a great person, that he loves football, but he's a great family man. Like, this is a guy who is a good influence. All right. We know that. All right. We also know that they're looking at a couple of different people, different OCs. They looked at Andy Dickerson, the Seattle Seahawks O-line coach. They looked at Bills offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey. Like there's a lot of things, because I don't know if he's going to stick with the Bills or not. But here's why they need to move fast. There's another coach in Houston by the name of Bobby Slowick. Okay, so if Bobby Slowick gets a head coach job, where do you think Jared Johnson's next offense, where do you think Houston's going to get their next offensive coordinator? It's going to be Johnson. It's going to be Johnson, because he's a guy who is there, who's worked with him, who seems to know what's going on. Maybe. If they don't hire him, he probably wasn't the right hire anyway. So maybe you don't need to, it's a lose-lose, though, if you wait till Bobby Slowick gets a head coaching gig. Also, there's a world in which Bobby Slowick takes him with him, right? So if he's not going to get the OC job with the Texans. So it seems like he would be a hard person to get, to be completely honest, unless you move right now. So if you have this interview with him and you're like, this dude is good, like, I get it, and you're going to give play calling, and it's not like he's sitting here coming into a position where there's nobody around him. It's not like he's coming into a team where it's a defensive head coach, so you need to have a lot of maturity at the offensive coordinator position. because there's no coach to really bounce ideas. No, Kevin Stefanski's there. You have a guy who's been an OC and has been play calling for years and years. So you can sit here and you can bring in a guy who's a little more green behind the ears. You can bring in a guy who's never done play calling before because he can learn under a head coach who that's what he does. Right? And you can even start with Stefanski calling the plays, this guy being the OC, and then transitioning into it. So when you're looking for these offensive coordinators, when you're looking for a new quarterbacks coach, when you're looking for a new tight ends coach, I think is the other one, or running backs coach, that's what it was. OC, running back coach, and tight ends coach, you're looking for guys who can relate to the players. You're looking for guys who are going to be not necessarily a player's coach, but you don't need all X's and O's guys everywhere. You don't. And I'm not saying he is or isn't an X's and O's guy. I don't know enough about him to say one way or the other. What I do know is that CJ Stroud said he's phenomenal at relaying things. Right? He's a great family man. He's tremendous. It taught him a tremendous amount of information. If Kevin Stefanski wants to continue calling plays but wants an offensive coordinator that's a tremendous communicator, this is the guy. So, look, we're going to keep talking about it anytime anybody's reported for roles and stuff like that, but I think this could be a good hire. I think it could be a good hire. Do I think like he's young and I don't know how much experience he has? Yeah, I think he could be a little bit young. But if you're going to have if anything, he's not ready, this is a good landing spot to go because he can rely on what he did as a quarterback coach and just being a tremendous communicator to the offense until he has the amount of information down that he needs to know. So that's my thought process on that. Let me know if you like that as an idea for the OC role. Are you starting to get frustrated at how long it's taking, or do you think they're trying to, pilfer from one of the teams that are still playing? Like, it's very interesting to see who they're talking to. Now, here's what I will say, and I've said this on when I'm talking about the Texans on this channel. I will say that I don't think Bobby Slowick is gone. I think he stays for one more year. I think there's NFL openings all over the place. The fact that they haven't started hiring yet is very unique. I think Bobby Slowick is behind Ben Johnson of the Lions as far as head coaching candidates. He might even be behind Aaron Glenn of the Lions. But I think there's definitely guys that are ahead, and I think Bobby Slowick should spend one more year instead of just being like, oh, I'm here for a year. Okay, now I'm gone. Like, let him learn and ease into it too, because if this offense continues to do what it did last year or better, he's going to have the pick of jobs. Like Bobby Slowick of the Texans, if they do what they did again this year or better, he will be able to go anywhere he wants. Whatever the most talented team is that's letting go of a head coach, he'd have the job. So that's what I would do, unless he could get a job like the Chargers now. So I think it's kind of a moot point, but I would move fast if you really want this guy. All right. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Keep here all off season for Browns content. We're going to be coming at you like crazy with it. All right. Thanks for watching. See ya.